Arirang TV in southern Seoul. This is where I spend most of the day, the Arirang TV newsroom. We work alongside other international broadcasters like the ones you see right behind me. Since cutting the ribbon in 1996, Arirang has been with you for the last 20 years as Korea's one and only global network. And marking the anniversary, we decided to take a look at the international broadcasting service sector around the world. Voice of America, Deutsch, Welle, France 24, CCTV, Russia Today, and Arirang TV. There are some exemplars of state-funded international broadcasters or public international broadcasters in top 10 broadcasting nations. Created in the early 20th century for ways to keep their colonial outposts in touch with metropolitan views, international broadcasting went through a transformation during the war and over its 80-year history has evolved in style, presentation, and rationale.
So I see international broadcasting historically as having been this really important way in which countries have been able to speak across frontiers directly to ordinary people around the world. I think it's been a really important way in which public diplomacy has been conducted.
Today, it's used by developed and emerging economies to promote their cultures, perspectives, and improving national image, among others. Eric Kremer is Vice President of Distribution for France 24, one of the most solid public international broadcasters in the world. I sat down with him during his recent visit to Arirang TV.
We are state-owned, so most of our resources come from the taxes of the citizen. Our role is to provide international news channel about the most important issues of this world. I would say we like to provide a French perspective on this. It doesn't mean a government perspective, it's a French perspective.
As a leading executive of France's public broadcaster, Kremer feels that it's only appropriate that Korea, too, has a well-functioning international broadcaster.
I think Korea is a big country, has a strong history, a strong culture, is one of the most advanced developed nations in Asia. So first of all, it's very normal that Korea have an international channel. Arirang is not a news channel like we are, but tend to promote Korean culture and does it well.
In fact, France 24 is the latecomer of the two in the game. Korea recognized the need for an international broadcaster early on, making entry into international TV broadcasting with the launch of Arirang in 1996, at most 10 years earlier than its counterparts in France, China, and Russia. Major broadcasting nations have invested heavily in international broadcasting over the last 15 years. Generously funded and legislatively supported new entrants such as China's CCTV and Russia's RT, which have achieved strong footholds, continuously grow in size, in reach, in global influence. Their legislative arrangements, formal missions, goals, and journalistic independence are written into the law in their respective countries, with the exception of Korea. Arirang has no underpinning legislation and is classified as a non-profit foundation under the Korean Civil Code, despite being one of the pioneers of public international broadcasting in the English language. So what prompts these governments to provide legal grounds and spend annually hundreds of millions of dollars on their country's international broadcasters? Christopher Springate is a longtime reporter, anchor, and producer of DW News.
DW is kind of like Germany's visiting card, global visiting card, that we can, we have a global reach. We talk to the world, and that's a very good way. German politics, of course, the German government is also deeply committed to those values that I was talking about, democratic values, pluralistic values. We can open doors for some of those aspects of German policy.
For the last 20 years, Arirang has been the single provider of public international broadcasting service in Korea under the motto, "Bringing Korea to the world to Korea."
A special legislation for an international broadcaster guarantees stable funding for its operations. By writing it into law, the government, out of state necessity, can designate a broadcaster as its official media outlet, bound with the mission of delivering various Korea-related issues to viewers around the world. In order for the broadcaster to appropriately carry out that public role, financial resources should be fully sponsored by the state based on a special law.
And for the next 20, 30 years, the world on Arirang, you bet.